Once upon a time, in a small village on the edge of a forest, there lived a girl whom everyone adored. This girl always wore a beautiful red cloak, so everyone in the village called her Little Red Riding Hood. Her mother had gifted her the cloak on her birthday, and every time she wore it, she felt special. One day, her mother asked her to take some food to her sick grandmother. She packed a basket with fresh bread, butter, and a bottle of wine. "Your grandmother is very ill. Take this basket to her, but don't wander off the path in the forest," her mother warned. Little Red Riding Hood promised to obey her mother and set off on her way. As she walked deeper into the forest, the shadows of the trees and the chirping of the birds enchanted her. After a while, she encountered a wolf by the side of the path. The wolf approached her and asked where she was going. Little Red Riding Hood, innocent and trusting, told him she was taking food to her grandmother. The wolf, cunning and sly, devised a plan. "Why don't you pick some of these beautiful flowers? They would make a lovely surprise for your grandmother," he whispered. Little Red Riding Hood, tempted by the idea, began picking flowers. Meanwhile, the wolf hurried to her grandmother's house. The wolf knocked on the grandmother's door and, imitating Little Red Riding Hood's voice, entered the house. The grandmother, lying sick in bed, didn't realize the danger. The wolf pounced on her, tied her up, and put on her clothes. Then he lay down in her bed, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood to arrive. Soon after, Little Red Riding Hood reached her grandmother's house. She knocked on the door and entered, but something felt off. She approached the bed and noticed that the figure lying there didn't quite look like her grandmother. Still, she asked, "Grandmother, why are your ears so big?" The wolf replied, "The better to hear you with, my dear." "Grandmother, why are your eyes so big?" she asked. "The better to see you with," the wolf answered. Finally, she asked, "Grandmother, why are your teeth so big?" At this, the wolf snarled, "The better to eat you with," and leaped at her. At that moment, a hunter who was hunting in the forest heard the screams coming from the grandmother's house and rushed inside. Seeing the wolf, he aimed his rifle and killed it. Then he cut open the wolf's belly and rescued the grandmother and Little Red Riding Hood, who were both safe and sound. The grandmother got out of bed and hugged her granddaughter tightly. Together, they buried the wolf's body in the forest and learned never to trust strangers again.